Every night, thousands of people in the UK face the harsh reality of sleeping rough, with nothing but the cold streets to call home. But have you ever wondered which cities struggle the most with homelessness? The answers might shock you. From bustling capitals to quieter towns, the numbers tell a heartbreaking story. Stick around as we uncover the top 10 most homeless cities in the UK, and what's truly happening behind the statistics. Before we dive in, it's important to understand that homelessness isn't just about sleeping rough. It includes those in temporary shelters, hostels, or even sofa surfing with no permanent place to call home. The homelessness crisis is growing, and these cities are at the heart of it. Let's start with the countdown. At number 10, we have Bristol. Bristol is a city that captivates with its vibrancy, creativity, and rich cultural history. Known for its iconic landmarks like the Clifton Suspension Bridge and its globally renowned street art scene. Including the works of Banksy, Bristol appears to be a city thriving with opportunity and innovation. However, there is a stark reality that exists alongside this beauty, a reality faced by thousands who are experiencing homelessness within its borders. Behind the bustling streets and colorful murals lies a homelessness crisis that has steadily grown over the years, affecting individuals and families in profound and heartbreaking ways. The roots of Bristol's homelessness problem are complex and multifaceted. One of the most significant contributing factors is the city's housing market. Rental costs in Bristol rank among the highest in the UK, a situation exacerbated by a chronic shortage of affordable housing. This imbalance leaves low-income individuals and families in a precarious position where even minor financial disruptions can lead to eviction and homelessness. For many, the prospect of finding housing that fits within their budget feels like chasing an impossible dream, and the lack of social housing only compounds the issue. For individuals like Sarah, a 32-year-old single mother of two, this crisis became a harsh reality when her landlord decided to raise the rent on the modest flat she had called home for 5 years. Despite holding a steady job in retail, Sarah found herself unable to afford the increased rent. With no family nearby to turn to and limited financial reserves, Sarah and her children were forced to leave their home. They moved into temporary accommodation, a small, cramped room in a shelter where privacy and stability were hard to come by. "You never think it's going to happen to you," Sarah says, her voice filled with both disbelief and determination. Her story is far from unique, reflecting the struggles of countless others who are being pushed out of their homes by economic forces beyond their control. The issue of homelessness in Bristol extends beyond the visible presence of rough sleepers on the streets. While those sleeping rough represent the most visible aspect of the crisis, they are just the tip of the iceberg. Thousands more are living in temporary accommodations, sofa surfing with friends or relatives, or enduring unsafe and overcrowded conditions. For these individuals, the label of hidden homeless is all too accurate, as their struggles often go unnoticed by the wider public. Local organizations have stepped in to address this growing crisis, working tirelessly to provide support and resources to those in need. Caring in Bristol is one such organization that has become a lifeline for many. Their initiatives range from emergency shelters to outreach programs aimed at helping individuals transition from the streets to stable housing. During the winter months, their Bristol Night Shelter program provides warmth, food, and a safe place to sleep for those who would otherwise be exposed to the harsh elements. The charity also runs innovative campaigns to raise awareness and funds, ensuring that the issue of homelessness remains at the forefront of the city's conscience. Another remarkable initiative is Help Bristol's Homeless, a charity that takes a unique approach to tackling the housing crisis. Believing that housing is a basic human right, the organization transforms shipping containers into fully functional homes. These units provide individuals with a safe and dignified place to live while they work toward rebuilding their lives. This creative solution has garnered attention and praise, not only for its practicality but also for its ability to restore hope and a sense of stability to those it serves. Despite these efforts, the scale of the problem often feels overwhelming. For every success story, there are many more individuals who continue to struggle. Tom, a 45-year-old former carpenter, found himself homeless after a workplace injury left him unable to work. With no income and mounting medical bills, Tom was evicted from his rented flat and spent months sleeping in his van. It felt like everything I'd built just crumbled overnight, he recalls. Tom's situation began to turn around when he connected with Caring in Bristol, who helped him access healthcare and temporary housing. 9. Cardiff. Cardiff, the capital of Wales, is a city celebrated for its rich history, stunning architecture, and a vibrant cultural scene that draws visitors from around the world. Its iconic landmarks, such as Cardiff Castle and the Millennium Stadium, showcase its status as a hub of tourism and entertainment. Yet, amidst this prosperity, Cardiff faces a pressing issue that threatens its community: homelessness. Over 2,500 people are currently classified as homeless in Cardiff, with many living in precarious conditions, including temporary shelters and rough sleeping. The reality of homelessness here, as in other cities, is both heartbreaking and deeply complex. The homelessness crisis in Cardiff is largely driven by economic and systemic factors. High housing costs, unemployment, and welfare reforms have created a perfect storm, leaving many residents struggling to make ends meet. The city's housing market, while less expensive than some of its English counterparts, still poses significant challenges for low-income families. The demand for affordable housing far outweighs supply, forcing many into unsafe or overcrowded living conditions. For those already on the brink, even a minor financial setback, a lost job, an illness, or an unexpected expense, can push them into homelessness. The human stories behind these numbers are a sobering reminder of the crisis's impact. Take John, a 54-year-old former construction worker who found himself homeless after the company he worked for went bankrupt. Unable to find new work due to health issues and a lack of qualifications, John quickly fell behind on rent and was evicted. "I never thought I'd end up on the streets," he says. "You always think there's time to turn things around until there isn't." John spent months sleeping in doorways and bus shelters, battling both the elements and the stigma that comes with homelessness. Local charities in Cardiff have been working tirelessly to address the issue and support individuals like John. One such organization is the Wallock, which provides practical support, housing solutions, and advocacy for homeless individuals across Wales. Their street outreach teams connect with rough sleepers, offering immediate assistance and long-term solutions. Another initiative, Huggard, operates Wales's first day center for the homeless, providing meals, showers, and access to healthcare and support services. These organizations are a lifeline for many, but the scale of the problem means resources are often stretched thin. Efforts to combat homelessness in Cardiff are also supported by the Welsh Government, which has taken steps to prioritize housing as a fundamental human right. Policies aimed at preventing homelessness include legal protections for renters, financial assistance for those at risk of eviction, and investments in social housing. However, implementing these policies effectively remains a challenge, as local councils grapple with limited budgets and rising demand. Despite the difficulties, Cardiff is home to a strong and compassionate community that is determined to make a difference. Grassroots movements, student-led initiatives, and faith-based organizations have all contributed to the fight against homelessness. From organizing donation drives to volunteering at shelters, Cardiff residents are proving that collective action can bring about change. The city's response to its homelessness crisis serves as a reminder that while systemic reform is essential, individual and community efforts play a crucial role in addressing immediate needs. As Cardiff continues to grow and develop, addressing homelessness must remain a priority. The city's future depends not only on its economic and cultural achievements, but also on its ability to support its most vulnerable residents. By working together, governments, charities, and citizens alike, Cardiff can create a future where everyone has a safe and stable place to call home. 8. Birmingham. Birmingham, the UK's second-largest city, is often described as the beating heart of the West Midlands. With its thriving industries, diverse population, and iconic landmarks like the Bullring and the Library of Birmingham, the city stands as a symbol of progress and innovation. However, beneath its economic successes lies a troubling reality. Homelessness has become a persistent and growing issue in Birmingham, with over 3,000 people reported to be homeless, including families and individuals. The city faces one of the highest rates of homelessness outside London. The roots of homelessness in Birmingham are deeply intertwined with the city's economic challenges. Despite its vibrant economy, pockets of deprivation remain, and for many residents, rising living costs outstrip wages. Birmingham's housing market, though more affordable than London's, has seen significant price increases in recent years. This, coupled with a shortage of social housing, leaves many struggling to secure or maintain stable accommodation. A common misconception about homelessness is that it only affects those who are unemployed. In Birmingham, a growing number of homeless individuals are in fact part of the working poor, people who hold down jobs but cannot afford the high costs of housing. For families, the crisis is particularly acute. Parents like Ahmed and Aisha, who both work full-time, found themselves homeless after their landlord sold the property they had rented for over a decade. With no savings to cover a deposit on a new home, the family was forced to move into temporary accommodation. "We thought working hard would protect us," Ahmed says, "but it feels like the system is stacked against people like us." Charitable organizations in Birmingham have been stepping up to address the crisis. St. Basil's, a charity focused on preventing youth homelessness, works with young people aged 16 to 25, offering housing, education, and employment support. Another key player is Birmingham Homeless Outreach, a volunteer-run group that provides food, clothing, and essential supplies to rough sleepers. These organizations, while doing incredible work, often struggle to meet the overwhelming demand for their services. The Birmingham City Council has introduced several initiatives aimed at tackling homelessness, including increasing funding for emergency shelters and supporting programs that prevent evictions. However, critics argue that these measures are not enough to address the systemic issues driving the crisis. Activists and charities have called for greater investment in affordable housing and stronger protections for tenants. The stories of resilience that emerge from Birmingham's homeless population are both inspiring and heart-wrenching. For example, Kelly, a 19-year-old who aged out of the foster care system, spent months couch surfing before ending up on the streets. Through the support of St. Basil's, she was able to find stable housing and enroll in a vocational training program. Today, Kelly is pursuing her dream of becoming a nurse, a testament to the impact of timely intervention and support. Homelessness in Birmingham is a stark reminder of the challenges facing cities across the UK. Yet, it also highlights the potential for change when communities come together to support one another. By addressing the root causes of homelessness and investing in sustainable solutions, Birmingham can ensure that its growth and prosperity benefit all its residents, not just a privileged few. 7. Manchester. Manchester, known as the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution, is a city synonymous with progress, innovation, and resilience. Its vibrant cultural scene, iconic music legacy, and thriving economy draw people from all walks of life. Yet, behind this image of prosperity lies a growing homelessness crisis that has gripped the city. With over 3,500 people currently homeless, including rough sleepers and those in temporary accommodation, Manchester's struggle with homelessness reflects the challenges facing urban areas across the UK. The housing market in Manchester has become increasingly inaccessible for many residents. While the city has seen significant regeneration and investment, particularly in the property sector, much of this development focuses on luxury apartments and high-end housing. This trend has pushed average rent prices to levels that are unaffordable for low-income households. For individuals and families living paycheck to paycheck, the lack of affordable housing options leaves them vulnerable to eviction and homelessness. Economic instability is another significant factor contributing to Manchester's homelessness crisis. Despite its thriving economy, the city has areas of high deprivation where unemployment, low wages, and cuts to public services have left many struggling to make ends meet. For those who fall on hard times, finding support can be a daunting task, as demand for services far exceeds supply. One such individual is Peter, a 48-year-old former factory worker who lost his job during a round of redundancies. Unable to pay his rent, Peter was evicted from his flat and spent months sleeping rough in the city center. "It was like I fell through the cracks," he says. "One day I had a home and a job. The next I was invisible." Peter eventually connected with the Booth Center, a local charity that provides support to homeless individuals in Manchester. Through their help, he was able to secure temporary housing and access training programs to help him re-enter the workforce. The Booth Center is just one of many organizations working tirelessly to address homelessness in Manchester. Another key player is Mustard Tree, a charity that focuses on tackling poverty and homelessness by providing essential resources, training, and opportunities for employment. Their innovative programs not only meet immediate needs but also empower individuals to break the cycle of homelessness. Manchester City Council has also taken steps to combat the crisis, investing in initiatives aimed at preventing homelessness and supporting those affected. Their Greater Manchester Homelessness Action Network brings together local authorities, charities, and businesses to coordinate efforts and share resources. However, despite these initiatives, the scale of the problem remains daunting. Public support for addressing homelessness in Manchester is strong, with residents frequently participating in fundraising events, donation drives, and volunteer efforts. The sense of community and solidarity in the city is a testament to Manchester's spirit, but it is clear that systemic changes are needed to provide lasting solutions. By prioritizing affordable housing and strengthening social safety nets, Manchester has the potential to become a model city for tackling homelessness. 6. Glasgow. Glasgow, Scotland's largest city, is renowned for its rich history, stunning architecture, and warm, welcoming community. Known as the Dear Green Place, Glasgow has a proud tradition of resilience and solidarity. However, the city also faces significant challenges when it comes to homelessness. With over 4,000 people classified as homeless, Glasgow's housing crisis reflects broader issues of poverty and inequality. One of the primary drivers of homelessness in Glasgow is the lack of affordable housing. While the city has made progress in building new homes, the demand for social housing far outstrips supply. This shortage forces many low-income families into the private rental sector, where high costs and unstable tenancies create a precarious living situation. For some, even temporary setbacks, such as losing a job or falling ill, can result in eviction and homelessness. Mental health and addiction issues are also significant factors in Glasgow's homelessness crisis. Many individuals who find themselves homeless are grappling with complex personal challenges that make it difficult to maintain stable housing. These issues are compounded by cuts to public services, which have reduced access to the support systems that vulnerable individuals rely on. Organizations like Simon Community Scotland are stepping in to fill the gaps. Their outreach teams work tirelessly to connect with rough sleepers, providing essential supplies and helping them access services. The charity also operates housing programs and mental health support services, offering a lifeline to those in need. Another vital resource is the Glasgow Night Shelter for Destitute Asylum Seekers, which provides emergency accommodation for individuals who have nowhere else to turn. Despite the efforts of these organizations, systemic change is needed to address the root causes of homelessness in Glasgow. The Scottish Government has made housing a priority, introducing initiatives like the Rapid Rehousing Transition Plan, which aims to move individuals out of temporary accommodations and into permanent homes as quickly as possible. While these measures are a step in the right direction, their success will depend on sustained investment and coordination across sectors. The people of Glasgow have shown incredible compassion and determination in addressing homelessness. From fundraising events to grassroots advocacy, the city's residents are proving that collective action can make a difference. However, the scale of the crisis requires more than community effort. It demands a long-term commitment to tackling poverty, inequality, and housing insecurity. 5. Liverpool. Liverpool, a city celebrated for its rich maritime history, cultural landmarks, and vibrant community spirit, is often described as the heartbeat of Merseyside. From the iconic waterfront to the famous sounds of the Beatles, Liverpool is a city with a strong sense of pride and identity. However, beneath this energy and cultural significance lies a growing crisis of homelessness. Over 5,000 people are currently homeless in Liverpool, including those in temporary accommodation and rough sleepers. The housing crisis in Liverpool stems from a combination of factors. While the city has undergone significant regeneration in recent years, much of the new development has focused on luxury apartments and commercial properties, leaving behind a shortage of affordable housing. Many families find themselves on long waiting lists for social housing, forcing them into the private rental market, where costs are rising steadily. For those already living on the financial edge, this can lead to eviction and homelessness. Liverpool's homelessness problem is also deeply tied to economic challenges. The city has some of the highest levels of poverty and unemployment in the UK, and cuts to welfare benefits have further exacerbated the situation. Families, young people, and individuals from diverse backgrounds find themselves unable to access the resources needed to maintain stable housing. The lack of support for vulnerable populations, such as those with mental health issues or substance dependencies, further compounds the problem. Charities and organizations in Liverpool are working tirelessly to combat homelessness. One such organization is the Whitechapel Centre, which provides services ranging from street outreach to housing support and crisis intervention. Their team works with individuals to find immediate shelter, while also helping them rebuild their lives through employment assistance and mental health support. Another key player is Liverpool Homeless Football Club, an innovative program that uses sports to engage and support homeless individuals, promoting teamwork and self-confidence. Despite these efforts, the demand for help far outweighs the available resources. Liverpool City Council has introduced initiatives such as the Always Room Inside program, which aims to ensure that no one has to sleep rough during extreme weather conditions. However, the long-term solution lies in addressing systemic issues like affordable housing, income inequality, and access to social services. Liverpool's residents are known for their generosity and resilience. Across the city, local businesses, faith groups, and community organizations frequently organize food drives, clothing donations, and fundraising events to support those in need. The sense of solidarity among Liverpudlians is inspiring, but lasting change requires a united effort from local and national governments, charities, and individuals. By focusing on prevention, support, and systemic reform, Liverpool can turn the tide against homelessness and build a future where everyone has a place to call home. For Leeds, one of the UK's fastest-growing cities, is often associated with its booming economy, vibrant student population, and dynamic cultural scene. The city is a hub of opportunity and innovation, attracting people from across the country. However, despite its prosperity, Leeds is facing a homelessness crisis that cannot be ignored. With over 5,500 people classified as homeless, the city is struggling to provide adequate support and housing for its most vulnerable residents. The issue of homelessness in Leeds is closely tied to the city's rapid growth. While the economic expansion has brought wealth to certain sectors, it has also driven up housing costs, making it increasingly difficult for low-income individuals and families to secure affordable accommodation. The shortage of social housing is a significant problem, forcing many into the private rental sector, where high rents and unstable tenancies create an environment of insecurity. The stories of those affected by homelessness in Leeds are deeply moving. Sarah, a single mother of two, found herself homeless after escaping an abusive relationship. Unable to find affordable housing, she and her children spent months living in a shelter. "It was the hardest time of my life," Sarah recalls. "But the kindness of strangers and the support from local charities kept me going." Sarah eventually secured permanent housing with the help of a local organization, and today, she is rebuilding her life. Leeds is home to several charities and initiatives dedicated to tackling homelessness. St. George's Crypt, a charity with a long history of supporting homeless individuals, provides emergency accommodation, meals, and support services. Simon on the Streets, another local charity, focuses on outreach, building relationships with rough sleepers and helping them access the resources they need. These organizations, while making a significant impact, are often stretched to their limits due to the sheer scale of the problem. The Leeds City Council has implemented a range of programs aimed at preventing and addressing homelessness. These include investments in affordable housing and partnerships with charities to provide support for those at risk of losing their homes. However, many believe that more must be done, particularly in terms of addressing the root causes of poverty and inequality. The people of Leeds have shown incredible compassion in the face of this crisis. From volunteer groups to student organizations, the city's residents are actively involved in supporting their homeless neighbors. Fundraisers, donation drives, and awareness campaigns are common, reflecting the community's determination to make a difference. With a focus on prevention, intervention, and systemic reform, Leeds can work towards a future where everyone has the stability and security of a home. 3. Sheffield. Sheffield, known as the Steel City, is a place of industrial heritage, cultural richness, and breathtaking natural beauty. Nestled at the edge of the Peak District, Sheffield has long been a city of resilience and innovation. However, like many urban centers in the UK, it faces a growing homelessness crisis. With over 6,000 people experiencing homelessness, Sheffield is grappling with the complex challenges of providing support and shelter for its vulnerable population. Economic hardship is a significant driver of homelessness in Sheffield. Despite its industrial legacy and ongoing regeneration efforts, many areas of the city suffer from high levels of poverty and unemployment. For families and individuals already living on the brink, a single unforeseen event, such as a job loss or a health crisis, can lead to homelessness. The high cost of living, combined with a shortage of affordable housing, leaves many residents struggling to find stable accommodation. Charities and support services play a crucial role in Sheffield's response to homelessness. Organizations like the Archer Project provide essential services, including food, clothing, and access to healthcare. They also offer programs aimed at helping individuals regain independence, such as job training and addiction recovery support. These efforts are complemented by grassroots initiatives and community groups that work tirelessly to address immediate needs and raise awareness. Sheffield City Council has made efforts to tackle homelessness through prevention programs and investments in housing. London, the capital city of the UK, is a global metropolis known for its rich history, cultural diversity, and economic power. From the grandeur of Buckingham Palace to the bustling streets of Camden, London is a city that represents opportunity and ambition. Yet, it is also a city where the stark contrast between wealth and poverty is impossible to ignore. London ranks as the most homeless city in the UK, with over 8,000 people sleeping rough and tens of thousands more living in temporary or insecure accommodations. The scale of homelessness in London is staggering, driven by a combination of factors unique to the capital. One of the biggest contributors is the city's astronomical housing costs. London has some of the highest property prices and rental rates in the world, making it inaccessible for many. For low-income individuals and families, securing affordable housing in London is a monumental challenge. Even those who manage to secure housing often find themselves spending a disproportionate amount of their income on rent, leaving them vulnerable to financial instability. Economic inequality is another significant issue. While London is home to some of the world's wealthiest individuals and corporations, it also has some of the highest rates of poverty in the UK. Many Londoners work low-paying jobs in sectors like retail, hospitality, and care, struggling to make ends meet. Cuts to social welfare programs and a lack of affordable childcare have further compounded these challenges, pushing more people into homelessness. For individuals who lose their housing, the streets of London can be a harsh and dangerous place. Rough sleepers face numerous risks,